Hello everyone, NEST 2025 is less than 22 days from now and it's very important to boost your preparation. But for that, you have to know the syllabus. So if you have any question about the syllabus, you can watch this video. Stay till the end because by the end, I'm going to give you a bonus resource. Okay, I'm going to show you an ideal timetable which you can follow till NEST 2025, which is on 22nd June this month. Okay, so my name is Soumya Prakash, alumnus of IISc Bhubaneswar. In this video, I'm going to talk about the syllabus for physics, chemistry, maths, bio for NEST and a timetable that you can follow. Here is the website of NEST 2025 and we have opened the syllabus for biology. Don't go on this name, it's for biology. You can just open it and you can see that okay, the rationale is given over here. The syllabus is the recently rationalized NCERT syllabus for all 4 subjects. The topics and chapters are what we are going to see here, right? Along with that, I'm also going to mark the important chapters that have come over and over again in the recent years in NEST and the chapters which have the highest possibility of coming in the exam this year. So we can see that diversity is there, right? It starts with it, and after that we have structural organization, animals, plants, right? Morphology, it's again very important chapter. Cell structure is a very important chapter and topics, okay, including ribosomes, membranes, okay, cell walls, organelles. If you have seen the previous year questions of NEST, you might have observed lots of questions coming from cell function, right? Next, what we have is plant physiology. Plant physiology again is important, okay, as we can see over here. Transportation is plant, mineral nutrition, okay, nitrogen cycle. All these concepts are very important, and the paper setters of NEST basically like these topics and they frequently ask questions from these, right? And what we can see next up is photosynthesis, aspiration. These are okay chapters. Human physiology again is important. Digestion and absorption, okay, breathing, respiration, body fluid circulation, excretory projects. So some of these topics are very important. How can I say that? You can go through the previous questions of NEST bio section and you can see yourself, right? Then after that we have neural control, okay, and we have seen that the important chapters have already been marked over here. So these are disease related to all the human physiology systems to be taught in brief. Now these are practicals, so we don't need to concern ourselves with that. Now coming over to class 12, right? Reproduction in plants, animals, organisms, human reproductions, reproductive health. Okay, so reproduction in flowering plants is important as well. You might see questions coming over and over in NEST exam. Genetics again is moderately important, not very. Evolution is moderately important. And if you can see, microbes and health and disease is also moderately important. Biotech is moderately important. Ecology is very important. You might have seen questions coming from ecosystems and different kinds of cycling and issues, right? So this was about the biology syllabus. Now getting over to chemistry syllabus, okay, starting from class 11th, we see some basic concepts of chemistry or stoichiometry. This is questions don't come directly from this topic, but they come in, a lot of questions come from stoichiometry in link with the other topics such as redox or sometimes solutions, sometimes or many a times in chemical and ionic equilibrium. So that is what makes this chapter important as well, right? Structure of atom, very important chapters. Okay, you might see a lot of questions coming from uncertainty principle, shapes of sp, quantum numbers, Pauli exclusion principle, orbitals, right? Especially the quantum chemistry part or the Bohr atomic part we see is what belongs to this as well, and a lot of questions have been asked from this chapter as well. Next up we see periodicity, moderately important chemical bonding, very important again. Okay, Vesper theory, hybridization is among some of the topics which are favorites of NEST coordinators. Okay, state of matters, gases, liquids, moderately difficult, thermodynamics, very important chapters. Okay, and amongst the questions that have come from thermodynamics, the very interesting part is that some of the easiest and most difficult questions in NEST chemistry have come from thermodynamics. Okay, so you have a chance here that you can attempt those questions by logics, by formulae, by concepts, if you have practiced decently, right? So the most important topics among this is internal energy, enthalpy. Next up is spontaneous and non-spontaneous process. Equilibrium again is very important in thermodynamics in NEST. Okay, not a lot of questions from calculations come. Okay, that what in most cases you need to apply logics, concepts, laws of thermodynamics to solve a question and get to the answers, right? But it's certainly very interesting. Equilibrium again is very important. Ionic equilibrium and chemical both are very important. Okay, Le-Chatelier's principle, ionization of different kinds of acids and bases, these are important. Redox, hydrogen, moderate, S block, some P block elements as rationalized syllabus, this is also moderately important. Organic chemistry, very important. Sometimes very tricky questions come from organic, but yet doable and scoring topics are also included. As you can see, that different kinds of fissions, displacements, resonance, okay. Aromatic hydrocarbons are very important as well. Environmental chemistry, okay. Now coming to class 12th. So solid state I guess has been removed. Solutions is very important. Every year at least one question comes from this chapter. Electrochemistry is important as well. Electrode potential, EMF, different kinds of cells, Nernst equation is what? Very important. Chemical kinetics, again a lot of graph based questions, okay, are asked from this chapter, and they will be not too difficult to solve given that you know the concepts and are able to deduce the logics in the exam itself. Okay, P block elements again moderately, these are important. Okay, coordination compounds, some of the very tricky and conceptual questions are asked from coordination compounds, especially VBT, CFT and magnetic properties of the compounds, right? Alcohol phenols, very important with ketones and carboxylic acids. Again, due to importance, trickiness and a lot of concepts involved, including the reaction mechanism of most of the reactions here. Okay, that's what you might want to focus on. Nitrogen compounds are important, biomolecules are important as well. Okay, next we can switch to mathematics. So in maths, I'll just give you a brief overview of what kind of chapters are very important and doable. Okay, sometimes a lot of concepts are involved which you can follow and do a lot of deductions in the exam itself to arrive at the answer. So for example, especially from algebra, topics like quadratic equation, complex numbers, okay, these are very important. There are chances that at least one or two questions will be asked from these itself in NEST this year, right? Apart from that, differential calculus is very important. Applications of derivatives, right? Maxima, minima, monotonicity, these also are very important. Apart from that, integral calculus, if we can talk about in that, we have definite integral and area of curves. These are important, and vectors are important as well. Sometimes standalone questions from trigonometry have been asked. Okay, so trigonometry all in all is important, but there are less chances that an isolated question will be asked. It will be asked in use with other concepts from, let's say, set theory or quadratic equations, or sometimes vectors, right? But nevertheless, let's go through the syllabus. Anyways, we have sets, relation functions, ordered pairs, Cartesian products, okay, real valued functions. Functions are very important. Okay, so including pictorial representation, domain range, okay, product quotients of functions, and functional equations are also very important. I guess it will come down. So trigonometric functions and equations, these, like I said, are important. Induction is not much important. Complex numbers and quadratic equations is very, very important. Okay, inequalities are moderately important. Permutation combination, very important. Sequence, very, very important. Okay, and tricky questions have been asked from this. In coordinate geometry, we have straight lines, and straight lines are important. Of course, sometimes it gets asked in connection with other topics, okay, like complex numbers or vectors. Okay, so you might need to keep in mind 3D geometry is moderately difficult and important. Limit and derivatives are very important, like I said, and probability, of course, is really, really important. One question is bound to ask from this. Matrices and determinants, very important. One or maybe two questions, if you're lucky, can be asked from these, and there are chances that it will be doable if you know this concept decent enough. Okay, so in that addition, multiplication, operations on matrices, this is what is very common. Commutativity, invertible matrices, that is common. And similarly in determinants, consistency, inconsistency, sometimes that is asked. Okay, yet not that important, but can be asked. So you need to keep in mind that as well. Okay, now continuity differentiability, like I said, is very, very important, especially log function, derivative of functions in some parametric forms. Okay, if you go through, like, monotonicity is important. Lagrange mean value theorem is very important as well, right? So sometimes application based questions are also asked. They will give you some scenario, some function will be placed inside it, and you need to do those operations to find the minima, maxima, whatever the answer. Okay, so do practice those questions as well. Integrals are moderately important. Applications of integral, this section is extremely important. Okay, similarly differential equations, vectors, 3D, these are moderately important, but yes, vectors are very, very important here. So that is to be noted. Probability, again, this part is very important, especially conditional probability, Bayes theorem, repeated independent or in other words Bernoulli trials are important as well. Okay, so this can be asked in association with, in connection with permutations and combinations. Okay, so be prepared for to face questions from probability, which is not so easy, okay, in NEST this year. Next up, if we talk about physics, physical world measurement, so these are basic things, but yes, sometimes a easy question is asked from here, just so that you can score. Kinematics is very, 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 very important. One question from 1 or 2D motion will definitely be asked. Okay, 90% chances are there that one question will be asked from here. Okay, it can be related to motion in 1D, or some graphs will be given, or projectile motion will be asked. Okay, so you need to accordingly keep those concepts in mind. Laws of motion is very important. Some blocks will be given, some friction, some system will be there, isolated system. Okay, and you need to find something, acceleration value, some limiting concept. Okay, but it's important as well. Equilibrium of concurrent forces, that is also used at times. Work energy power, so at least one question will be asked from either of these two. Okay, so one question will be asked from combination of work energy power and laws of motion, these two chapters combined. It may also be possible that one separate questions are asked from these two as well, so get ready for that. Rotational is very, very important. Sometimes conceptual yet easy, and sometimes calculative yet difficult questions are asked from rotational motion. Okay, next up is gravitation. One question probably will be asked from here, and it will be doable. It can be related to gravitational potential or some sort of energy or work done. Okay, so some system will be given, some satellite system or a tunnel will be dug inside the Earth or any other planet, or some sort of comparison can also be asked. Okay, so get ready for that as well, guys. And properties of matter, very, 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 very important. From this whole unit, 2 to 3 questions can be asked. Okay, and 1 to 2 will be pretty easy if you get lucky, right? So this fluid can contribute to 1 question, elastic behavior can contribute to 1 question, and heat, the whole section of heat, including expansion, conductions, cooling, Stephen's law, that can give you one question. Okay. Thermodynamics, again, very important. From thermodynamics and KTG, one question each can be asked, or one question at least will be asked. Okay. Oscillations and waves is moderately important, but yeah, in most cases, it might be so possible that one question from wave can be asked, or either from waves or periodic motion can be asked, right? So now if you go to class 12th topics, electrostatistics is the important thing, okay, that will be asked. At least 2 questions from either this section, one from this can be asked, and one question from potential or conductors can be definitely asked, right? Current electricity, so a total of 2 to 3 questions can be asked from unit 1 to combine. Okay, so electrostatistics and current electricity. It can be related to a circuit which leads you to solve via Kirchhoff's laws, or potentiometer, right, or some kind of internal resistance in any given systems. So all these are just possibilities of the ranges and the wide and broad concepts that can be put to use while solving questions from these chapters. So magnetic effects, in short, magnetism is important as well. One question from this section can definitely be asked. Okay, so force, torque, due to a current carrying conductor, different sorts of systems. Okay, magnetic field. Okay, so that can be definitely asked. Electromagnetic induction and AC again is very, very important chapters. One question from AC, this section can definitely be asked this year. Okay, EM waves is moderate. Not a direct question can be asked, but it can be put to use to solve other questions. Optics, again, very important. 2 to 3 questions can be asked. One from wave optics and one from ray optics, and one in combination of both. Okay, so like diffraction interference, very, very important. Microsoft probably won't be asked. This whole section, okay, reflection, refraction from in different kinds of systems can be asked. Okay, they will just, today I was solving a question, they can just give you a slab or something, and on top of that they will put some other system with some other refractive index, and they can ask a question. Okay, so this was about the syllabus. Now the bonus thing that I promised you, okay, I'm gonna show you the ideal timetable that you can follow for NEST. So here it is. Okay, so this is what we made. Today is 2nd June, and you can start from today or tomorrow itself, depending on when you're watching this video. So see, every day you can pick a subject, you can pick chapters from that particular subject, and you can practice questions. By questions I mean you can solve previous year questions that have been asked in NEST. That is the most useful resource that you can have, and in the remaining time you can practice new questions to strengthen your grip in these chapters, right? So that is the same for maths, biology, physics, chemistry, and repeating that same cycle. And of course you can always tweak or change the schedule as per your needs and desires, okay, because of course you're not probably gonna solve the whole thing, right? But yeah, in short, this is nothing other than the problem solving sessions and classes from 8 to 10 p.m. that we are having in NEST Everything series. If you don't already know about what NEST Everything series is, that can be a very good resource and reference for NEST preparation this year. It includes more than 12 mock tests and live and recorded discussions. You have all the video solutions of all previous year questions from 2018 to 2024 of NEST exam for all 4 subjects. In addition to these, you also have these problem solving sessions. In these classes, exactly that will be done. The mentors will be taking some important problems for NEST, and they will solve those questions with you in these sessions. Okay, so they will be conducted over Zoom. The timings will be 8 to 10 p.m. If you want to follow along with us, you can check out NEST Everything series and come to these sessions and ask your doubts. Okay, with that, if you don't want the live series, you just want the mock test and PYQs in CBT, computer based test format, you can also check out NEST mock test series, which is running successfully, and a lot of students are participating in those CBT, and you can compete with them and check your rank and solutions as well. With that, all the very best for NEST 2025, and see you in the next video.